What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 24 realistic rebuild where we are going to rebuild the Minnesota Vikings, use some realistic college draft classes, and over the next 5 years, try and do the impossible, which will feel like it for Viking fans, and that is win a Super Bowl with this team. A big reason why I've chose the Minnesota Vikings is that it seems like the Kirk Cousins era is over. It seems almost every other team but Minnesota has been linked with Kirk Cousins this offseason, and there's been a couple top college quarterbacks that have been linked and tied with new staff members on the Minnesota Vikings staff, which I was like, that's enough for me to go, all right, let's rock and roll with something different. We know from the last Vikings rebuild we did, which was featuring flash in the pan, hot for a minute type quarterback in Josh Dobbs, that the Vikings have an outstanding offense in Madden 24 Sim. So I do feel like whatever quarterback we end up bringing in is going to have success. But we got to make the right call with what quarterback we are going to choose. But it all has to go through this first offseason here in year 0, which is what we're going to call it. Looking at the squad, though, in closing, TJ Hawkinson made the jump from superstar up to an X factor off of his production, and he is absolutely a top 5 tight end. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, injuries, stuff like that to close out the season. But when he's on his game, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. I got to frame Justin Jefferson picture. I got to figure out, doesn't fit the Eagles theme, but it's one of the cooler things that I own, and he should be an Eagle. I got to figure out a way there to get that going. They made the trade to get Cam Akers from the Rams, and at least in the terms of Madden, 77 star depth, there's some upside. Jordan Addison for a rookie was outstanding. Filled in pretty nicely when Justin Jefferson went down. Like, obviously a massive ask for him to step up and be Justin Jefferson, but for being his own guy, he was pretty good. Back end of the defense, got some great safety play. Metellus kind of came on as a jack-of-all-trade hybrid defender. That was badass. Ivan Pace Jr., one of the guys that was in conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year as a UDFA. Daniil Hunter, aging like a fine wine, up to a superstar X Factor. So, for me, very different roster from the last time we rebuilt the Minnesota Vikings. How they performed this year for a team that didn't make the playoffs and had, obviously, sus quarterback play when Kirk Cousins went down. I mean, you got to remember, before Kirk Cousins went down, they were still, at least they were, like, putting up big numbers offensively. The wins weren't there, but it was like one of those classic Kirk Cousins. Well, at least he's looking good during losses. But we need to figure out the quarterback spot for sure. Need to figure out the running back spot for sure, as I don't know, is Cam Akers going to be our guy? Are we going to try to see if we can roll a dev trade on Madison? Do we cut both and go with a younger running back? All those options are on the table. Justin Jefferson, in playing 10 games, got he was on pace for like probably 1,800 yards and like 12 touchdowns plus. Insane. Hawkinson, again, top 5 tight end. Jordan Addison, 900 yards, 10 touchdowns as a rookie. KJ Osborne, great role player to have, even though we got to pay him sooner or later. Probably going to have to let him walk. Can't bind him at safety. A lot of guys there with a bunch of tackles. Outstanding year from Daniil Hunter, as we talked about, up to an X factor now after getting 23 TFLs, 16.5 sacks. We got 8 sacks from DJ Wanham, who I also believe is set to become a free agent. So we're going to have to handle this year 0 in-house free agents swiftly, because I think we got some guys, and we're going to have to make decisions. But knowing that, personally, I'm telling you right now, we're going to move on from Kirk Cousins. That's going to give us a little bit extra money to throw around to other positions, because I'm going to try to approach this the way that I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to do so. Let's see, do we have any retirements? Yes. Harrison Smith retires after 12 years, so it is going to be a new era in the secondary on the defense for the Minnesota Vikings, which is, let's be honest, I've been a football fan a long time, probably longer than most people that watch this, and still I assume Harrison Smith, just for me, has always been on the Vikings. But with $131 million of salary cap, let's spend it wisely. We're going to pick up clearly the 5th-year option on Christian Darrisaw. Ooh. We got some guys. So we're going to let Kirk go. I mean, clearly Daniil Hunter gets paid here. Make him a lifelong. All right, 4 years. That took it. Just under 100. Not bad. I think we can get better than Cam Akers. 20. I mean, that's not a bad price for KJ Osborne, but he's 27. He's only looking for a 2-year deal. Don't hate that. That's just one less position we'd have to draft, getting that like the slot wide receiver. I do think DJ Wanham, coming off 8 sacks. I think those are respectable numbers, and that is not a ridiculous contract if he takes that. He wants to dip. Okay. 8 sacks only gets you a 73. This is like start today. That's interesting. For like 8 sacks, I mean, not just the scoreboard watch there. That should be a little bit more respect. Can we get Jordan Hicks back on a 1 year? There we go. Get a veteran presence on the defense. Can play alongside Pace for another year. Develop him. Jordan Hicks, definitely a guy. Probably has a mentorship tag. But we are going to have to retool the pass rush. We're going to have to improve the offensive line. And most importantly, we're going to have to find ourselves a brand new quarterback. So going into free agency, we can use a little bit of everything. And of course, top quarterback is Kirk Cousins. You look at the running backs, nothing there screams pay me money over Alexander Mattison and or, targeting a running back in the draft. So we're going to kind of punt on that one. We're good at wide receiver. We're good at tight end. Could use some guards. If there's a nice, Ezra Cleveland, a player that was here, they traded him away. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Right guard, yeah, not really getting what you're looking for there. Like you'd want Owenu, get him, move him inside the guard, but you're gonna have to sign him at 82, 15 mil, and then you look at these other guards. It's just not a comparable position to pay him tackle money and then move him inside the guard. But look at that cap it, man. That is just absurd. What is his ceiling? His ceiling's probably going to be 80, 87, 88. Is that worth paying? We also have an insane amount of money. All right, we'll see. We'll throw a bid in. Like, we're not even going to be the top bid. So, we'll at least, we'll try. But I'm not anticipating that he's going to come here. We also desperately need to revamp the front three. We have Harrison Phillips, who's 28, got the dev trait, so that's fine for the time being. But our 2, 3, 4 defensive ends ain't it. And you want to see if we can grab one that can play that position. And, of course, maybe Tart as like a rotational guy. 27, keep him till he's 30. Moving to defensive end. He's played some D-tackle. That could be good business there. Yeah, Chase Young, don't need him. You'd love Huff. There's some guys there. Usually you don't get that role. Where there's some pass rushers that look pretty interesting. But we are good. Are we good, though? How good are we? Is what I'm wondering. Damn, that's a big bid. We're not even making the top 5. What about on Huff? Way more affordable. Could see him doing some damage on the other side of Daniil Hunter. He is a good ceiling. I can see him being 85, 86 when all is said and done. Productive playmaker for us. We're decent at linebacker here. We threw money at Jordan Hicks for like a rental. Corner could be a big need. But we need an absolute dog here for us to go and jump on a corner right now. But we're very happy right now because we're going shopping. We're not window shopping. We are going shopping. And if there are players that are going to represent big time improvements for our squad, we're going to be able to be aggressive here. And with the retirement of Harrison Smith, you could make the argument we could spend a little bit at the safety room. But both Bynum and Metellus have dev traits. I think they deserve the right to prove that they can be guys for us. They can be guys that can develop into playmakers. So I think we are going to spend, but not spend like crazy. We might only get 2. Huff and Tart are the only 2 that I'm optimistic about. And that's who we got. We got a new D end. We're going to slide him here to 3-4 defensive end. I don't think that's going to change his rating too much. We'll move him to right defensive end for the time being. Might actually get a bump, honestly, playing out of position. Let's see. Goes from 75 to it's... Oh, my God. All right. Shot to the pills on that one. And then we got Bryce Huff here, who's going to become our right outside linebacker. Maybe we'll get a nice roll here where he goes from 79 up to an 80. And hopefully we don't see 79 down. You could because you're going to need some zone coverage. That's going to affect his rating. He goes from 79. At least he maintains. I know the value's not there, but we're trying to keep this realistic. I think an interesting quarterback choice for the Minnesota Vikings. Jay Daniels not going to be available. All right? There's just no way. He's not going to be at that spot. We've already done a Jaden Daniels rebuild. I think it's time to give some shine to JJ McCarthy. We got A accuracy, A medium accuracy, double Bs, great throw power, elite strength. He's a big-time athlete that run almost a 4.4. I think he's going to be that interesting name this year. I think he's going to be one of those guys that the profile 5-star was like one of the top recruits out of high school. He's a doc. I mean, right now, I think it's either going to be McCarthy or Drake May. Drake May because the Vikings hired Josh McCown, who was an assistant on Drake May's high school team. I think there's some familiarity there, even though you're stretching the links a little bit when you go assistant coach, like, oh, he was a backup water boy. But I think someone like JJ McCarthy, it seems like a consensus right now. He's going top 12. And given the fact that we've given the other 3 quarterbacks in the top 12 some shine, why not give JJ McCarthy a chance? And I'll tell you right now, this is a rebuild that you do give a guy like JJ McCarthy a chance, because we are going to a scheme and a system that is insane. We're going to a scheme and a system that is going to maximize his strengths. I mean, hell, that is a fun quarterback. 87 acceleration, 88 speed, 88 change of direction. He's got to be a dual threat. 92 throw power. That is better than Jane Daniels. That is comparable to the top of this class. And now he gets to throw the football to Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Justin freaking Jefferson. In the second round, we got to hit on this one. We do not have a pick in the third round, so this is probably going to be our last impact playmaker. Looking at our squad, corner is a need, but we didn't get a great role for what we're looking for at the cornerback role. We got TJ Tampa, who does bring some good size, 6'2", 200 pounds. Jarian Jones, I'm coming on to him, pause, from Florida State. Him and Dwight McLaughlin right now are like kind of my day 3, might sneak into day 2 corners that I am a big fan of. But right now, I'm not seeing a corner that is screaming, come and get me. Peyton Wilson could be an absolute dog for us at middle linebacker. I'm interested there. 3-4 defensive end. We got a nose tackle in Devondre Sweat, but I've literally drafted him 5 times now in rebuilds. So we'll go somewhere. We'll pivot here just a little bit. Brandon Dorless does fit our scheme as a 3-4 defensive end. Double A's there. Not bad. I think guard could be a spot. There's just not a lot of value. Haynes out of UConn. Frazier, the center out of West Virginia, actually would be a pretty good get. He's getting some first-round buzz right now. But I'm going to be honest. I'm just gassing all this up right now because I want to see what's left at running back. And we could get the top. We have our pick. All the running backs are still available. The bad news is, are these running backs still going to be there if we waited? I don't think that's going to be the case. So what I am going to do is we are going to go out and get the best running back. Potentially in this draft class, we have Trey Benson, A vision, A break tackle, B carry, comes in 4.37 at his pro day. I know he's one of Bengals' favorites. I gambled that he'd have a dev trait. He does. And let's just hope now on the back end, in the 4th round, we can grab ourselves a decent corner and or linebacker player. All right, I'm going to get my sleeper corner right now in the draft. Dwight McLaughlin out of Arkansas, formerly LSU. And we're just going to throw him in to the mix. But I think we're probably near the end of us getting studs here in this draft class. So take a look at our draft recap, and we get a 71 on JJ McCarthy, who we did fully scout. We knew it wasn't going to be ridiculous. I thought maybe there was a shot we'd roll a dev trait. It probably would have only been a star. But it's just that much more we need him to hit and pan out and hit the ground running here in an environment that is going to be very, very much assisting him doing that. It's not like we're going to a team that runs the football and everything goes to the running back. We're going to air the football out, and he is going to have every opportunity to hit the very top, the tippity top of the ceiling. Trey Benson in the 2nd round, great value here, 75 hidden dev. We replace, not directly, but kind of directly, Dalvin Cook, a great value Florida State running back, with Trey Benson, a great value Florida State running back in the 2nd round. He is going to be our day 1 starter. I love the fact Dwight McLaughlin getting a 71. Don't know where that's going to put him overall on the depth chart, but that is something that will be, the next 4 years on his rookie contract. Could get an opportunity to start at some point. For the rest of the draft, I just kind of filled out some depth spots on the offensive line. We got in Wingo here on the defensive line. No brutal picks, But obviously, when all is said and done, not a crazy draft class, but not a bad one either. It's all going to be about, can we hit the ground running with JJ McCarthy and get those dev traits a-going? All right, so the good news is Mekhi Blackmon, who is our corner 2 right now, has a chance to go from normal dev to a star dev. The bad news, maybe good news, because I have my 2025 class. Basically, none of the realistic rebuilds we've done, I've been a bad team. So I haven't really been able to pick or mess around with really even the top 10 players in the 2025 class. We're 1-5. It is not good, but look, the offense is outstanding. The defense sucks ass. Offense is top 3. So at least like JJ McCarthy himself is playing really well. My team itself is god-awful. Maybe we embrace this, as we just cannot find a way to win. We're 1-5. Honestly, I'll take dev traits and keep losing at this point. Oh, no, we won. Bummer. 24-17. Did we at least get the Blackmon breakout? We did, which is great. Given the context of our secondary, the more upside we can get, the better. And we got that 20k XP for Mekhi Blackmon, which is going to give us 3 upgrade points. That's almost the bigger thing. Obviously, the dev trait long-term, especially when you hit them earlier in this rebuild, the better. But when you go from normal to dev, you also get 20k XP, which you don't get from any other dev trait. You don't get that from Star to Superstar, Superstar to X Factor. So it's pretty huge. And we get a lot of normal dev players starting for us. So hopefully this is just the beginning, and we can snowball this into a bunch more dev trait scenarios. Well, we're at the bye week, and we have 2 wins. But the offense is good. We're only a win back for first place in the division. So we got all that going on for us, as well as $90 million in salary cap. So we are going to start, well, the bad news is no one wants to be here. It stinks. The good news is we have more than enough money to try to convince all these guys to stay here. So we're going to hit Cam Bynum, 3-year deal. He accepts. We have Byron Murphy. Given the state of our secondary, probably can't let him walk. He accepts. And this is the big one. Pretty much whatever number. We're going to try to get player friendly, but obviously it's a blank check at this point. Justin Jefferson, $180 million. He's here for the rest of the rebuild. Oh, shit. Got a big victory. Week 10 of the Titans, 42-21. And into that, we get a breakout for our quarterback. I thought we were going to start seeing them pop all over the defense, but it's JJ McCarthy, the rookie, who is leading a top 10 offense right now, has a shot to get that star dev and 20,000 XP. 1 or fewer picks, 300 scrimmage yards, 3 total tuds. Doable. Doable, especially if we can see what we saw here week 10. We're going up against Atlanta. Solid team, not a great team, not an elite team. Could be a shootout. Damn. It's one of those ones, honestly, I probably would take the dev trait over a win. And I don't think we're... Yeah, I would have took the dev 100% and lost by 30 points. But we get a win, which is just, we're on a trajectory right now where we're not going to make the playoffs, but we're going to play ourselves out of getting an exciting elite player in the draft. Great. Awesome. Great. All right. We've won a lot of games in a row. We are now first in the division. I cursed it. I said, oh, man, looked like we're going to get a exciting draft pick. Psych. Apparently not. We got a breakout wide receiver. It's probably Jordan Addison. It is a very lofty goal. Don't think he's hitting that numbers with Justin Jefferson in the sim. But let's be cautiously optimistic against the Rams. This win streak, which is what, 4 games, 5 games, it ends. I don't even want to trigger this because it's negative. And we're 1 for 2 for dev traits this year. All right, well, we went from worst to first in the division. Ugly, ugly NFC North. But we go 9-8. And in year 1 of the JJ McCarthy era, not the pretty, but look at the numbers. 3rd offense, 4th passing offense. The defense is really what caught on. Because when we were terrible, our offense was still borderline top 5. The defense was worst in the league. We ended up finishing with a top 10 defense. Got to work on the rush defense a little bit. But we got a hell of a way to finish it. And look at that. Ivan Pace gets Defensive Player of the Week. Not a lot of those. I think that literally is the only award we got all year, which is surprising given the success of everything. And we got a team that is kind of owned. Doesn't pay, I'm taking out the Eagles hat here a little bit. But a team that has kind of owned the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs in the Philadelphia Eagles. But look at JJ McCarthy. Interceptions a little high. But I think based off of the production, should go up dev trait. We should be able to at least get him up to a star dev, and that is outstanding for year one. If we cut those interceptions down, even the touchdowns, even if it stays around 4,000 yards, 34 tutties, it's not that bad. Trey Benson, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. JJ McCarthy got some scrambling numbers. Madison, not too bad, but I mean, for an offense, it's clearly always going to be pass heavy. If we can get 12, 13, double-digit touchdowns for Trey Benson, yeah, let's go. That's good enough for me. Justin Jefferson, now I will say, I was scared about not putting him in the slot. It's been a minute since I've done a Vikings rebuild, so I did put Justin Jefferson in the slot in case this is one of those schemes that the slot wide receiver absolutely eats. And maybe not necessarily the case. Jordan Addison on the outside got 99 catches, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. We had 83 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 tutties for Justin Jefferson. Osborne was solid. Hawkinson maybe a little below where he wants to be, but still not brutal. Defensively, Ivan Pace and Josh Metellus go over 100 tackles each. We got your classic 3-4 defense. Sim, Huff with 6 sacks, 5.5 for Hunter. So there go the dev traits. There, you have that nice X factor, and it's gone. Absolutely, it's gone. Interception numbers, Byron Murphy led the team with 3 picks. A couple singles there as well. Damn. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. In the NFC, Saquon Barkley gets Offensive Player of the Year. We got Jordan Addison making the top 10. Shout out to him. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aiden Hutchinson. Offensive Rookie of the Year, wow, Trey Benson. We had friendly fire. We cannibalized our own shot at getting the dev trait for McCarthy. Might still get it. Don't know now because those interceptions are a little high. But Trey Benson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Damn. Good for him. For quarterbacks, JJ McCarthy makes the top 5. For running backs, Trey Benson makes barely the top 10. Make that make sense. Best wide receiver goes to CeeDee Lamb with Addison at 4, Jefferson at 6. We got on the defensive line, nothing. We're probably not going to have much on the defense. We got Hunter and Ivan Pace at linebacker, and nothing for DB or kicker. So all in all, very successful year one. But let's be honest, even though Minnesota is one of those teams that's in the market for a new quarterback, the roster itself for the Vikings, they hit on their quarterback. If their quarterback can hit the ground running, Minnesota's going to be competitive sooner than later. So this is totally plausible. I can see the Vikings going, holy shit, okay, I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles 49-35 in a freaking playoff game, but I can definitely see the Minnesota Vikings challenging for double-digit wins if they, in fact, go with a rookie quarterback this year. But look at that. Holy shit. How did we not get a player of the week? JJ McCarthy in his first playoff game, 385 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jesus Christ. Justin Jefferson, 162, 2 tuds. Osborne, almost 100 yards, 2 tuds. Addison, 70 yards, and a tud. What a performance offensively. That is enough momentum. You think we could probably go on a run here. We got Dallas on the other side, but already playing with house money. I thought we were going to be flirting with a top 5 pick in the draft. We get hot. We go on a run. And now we have the Giants. Very winnable game. We got to maybe have to run through the NFC East to get the championship. So be it. I think we can handle it. As long as we can stop Saquon Barkley. You stop Saquon Barkley, you can beat the Giants. Oh. Ugly, ugly loss. 17-14. We used all of our offense. And we wouldn't have even had to play Dallas. Or Kansas City. This was a perfect role to shock the world and get that Super Bowl in year one of this rebuild. But unfortunately, both quarterbacks, very similar matchup. But, Saquon did Saquon things. We just didn't have the linebackers to match up against Darren Waller. Going against Ivan Pace, who's, 5'11". It's a tough matchup, man. I mean, they got Chase Young, who we tried to get in free agency. He's popping off. Metellus, shout out Metellus for getting the pick. But I think the big thing for me this year, we got to change defensive schemes. Not 3-4 to a 4-3, I don't think. But we got to get more sacks. So maybe find a 3-4 defense. I remember Tennessee had a pretty good one. But we'll see what's available on the open market. Well, at least at the end of the year, we don't have to worry about the divisional jealousy of losing in the playoffs and then watching someone in their division go on to win a Super Bowl. As the Bengals defeat the Lions, Joe Burrow gets the MVP, which is fine. I did see bad news while I was upgrading my players, however. As dev traits at the end of the year, what I was expecting was Trey Benson and JJ McCarthy to go up, Daniil Hunter to go down. What we got on the offense is nothing for our quarterback in JJ McCarthy. Brutal. Addison, superstar. Benson, rookie of the year, superstar. But you really wanted McCarthy there. But it's just too many interceptions. 17 picks too high. Kind of counteracts what you got. On the defensive side, Hunter did not lose his superstar, which is surprising. Also surprising that not one of the linebackers. I mean, Pace had a lot of production. No dev trait there. Kind of surprised there. Metellus, a lot of tackles. 100+ tackles. Stays on a star. But you know what? I'll tell you this. I'll take keeping Dylan Hunter as an X factor than Ivan Pace going up to star. I'll take that. And while we're here, we are going to... Look at that. That doesn't even make sense. We run a 3-4, but our DC is a 4-3. Yeah. Let's go ahead and refresh the defense. So look at what we got available. We got Denver. I don't think the Broncos get a lot of sacks. This guy here is a 4-6. I always think it's a 4-3 defense. Don't need that. We have the Dolphins, so it's like a Vic Fangio defense. We got the Rams. I think we'll try the Rams just because I know Aaron Donald can eat. And if we can get one guy to play like Aaron Donald, hopefully it's Danielle Hunter somehow, some way, but it's probably gonna be somewhere on that front three. We'll do some. Maybe that's something to consider going to the draft, because we go to this draft, a 3-4 defensive end is going to be near the top of the board. So if we get a guy that has high upside, could be our Aaron Donald. All right, so look at that free agency. I did think about Javon Holland for a second. We also need linebacker help, but of course, all the good linebackers are outside linebackers, so you got to pay them edge rusher money, so we can't really do that. So we've gone in and we have competitive bids. We need special teams. Ernest Jones would be awesome because he's led the Rams defense, especially if we're going to a Rams scheme. But also, like, we're up to paying him $10 million plus, above that expected value. And it's a middle linebacker. And we have Ivan Pace. So, like, it's not a gigantic need. If we could get a value, we could. Same with Wyatt Tyler. We need help at, honestly, both guard spots. He's only 30, has a superstar dev. But, like, these offer, like, it's insane, the value that these guys are going for. And at least we do get Ernest Jones, familiar with the scheme. Helps us out middle linebacker. But... damn, would have been nice to get that guard. All right, I don't really want to be aggressive, but it's still just nuts. I thought we were going to have a top 5 pick. We're picking at 25. Needs. We need guard. We need 3-4 defensive end. We could use a nose tackle. We could use... wow, Shedeur Sanders still on the board. Goddamn. I mean, quarterbacks look awesome. By the time we probably... after this, there's not many more rebuilds that aren't going to require probably year 2 quarterbacks. Maybe you have a veteran quarterback, you're rolling for the first year of the rebuild, you look towards, because obviously almost all of these guys are going to be fun players to utilize. But I mean, for our squad here, we need a top guard available. And there's just not crazy value. We do have Logan Jones as a top center, right? You could probably kick him over to guard. At right guard, we have Cameron Johnson and Connor Colby, who I did scout because I didn't think there would be the first option there. And then looking at 3-4 defensive ends, you have Devin Van. Not really good value there. Josh Farmer. Zane Durant is who we actually scouted that I thought would be the most interesting name available. What do we still have at corner? Not much. I do need to update. I've been saying I need to update these draft classes. I think I'm going to, after this is done recording, I think I'm going to go do a quick little update. These draft classes are still 90% where they need to be. But they could use a little refreshing. All right, we got Zane Durant. Hell of an athlete. Let's do it. You get a dev? Hell yeah. I know he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list. And we need him to be, again, I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Donald, but we go to that Rams playbook. There is a chance that one of our 3-4 defensive end eat. Why not this guy with high upside? That's a freak athlete. And now let's just hope at pick 25 of the second round, we're going to have a shot to get a guard. One of those guards. Connor Colby, we scouted of Iowa. That would do the job. Let's see. We still have Zach Rice, who might be an okay. Oh, no, we got Colby. 3 A's and a B. Easy selection here. No dev, which is a little bit of a wet fart because linemen never go up dev trait. But he should have a pretty decent rating day 1. All right, so looking at our draft recap. Feel pretty good about this draft. Maybe even better than our first draft class, which is tough to do considering we got our new quarterback and running back of the future. But Zane Durant, 71. Now, it's a little low, but he did roll a dev trait. And we're going to move into DN, where hopefully we don't see him, like, shift down to, like, a 68. But, I mean, he's a 280-some-pound D tackle. Should get a boost. Moving him to defensive end, and I think we'll make him left defensive end. And we'll see what that does. It actually takes the bump up. Let's go up to a 73. Connor Colby, normal dev, which kind of stings, but he is 73. That's a good starting point. We got Darius Taylor, third round, Minnesota connection. I knew he had a hidden dev. I remember that, and we're going to put him at RB2 just because Madison still got 7 touchdowns, so there is room for the second running back to get and eat a little bit here. We got Pat Coogan, 69 guard. We got a 71 tight end. Colt Taylor, 6'7", out of West Virginia, just adding some depth. We got Nwanko from Houston, who's 5'11", almost 300-pound D-end, made Bruce Feldman's freak list. It's very much a freak. And then we went all in on the special teams. We got Crenshaw, the punter from Florida, 71 normal, and Bert Auburn, the kicker from Texas, 72 normal. Hell of a draft class, honestly, knowing that I can tell you right now, my draft class 2025, a little bit stingier on the ratings than other draft classes that are out there. So now we're in year 2, and it's still kind of more or less the same. I think our team rating is pretty damn good, pretty ahead of schedule, 89 offense, 86 overall. Luckily, the NFC North still kind of sucks ass, so we are tied for first with only 4 wins. But, I mean, you look at the rankings, kind of in line with where they were last year. Offense, passing offense, looks awesome. Defense kind of shit, but the defense was kind of shit at this point last year, and then we ended up finishing with the top 10. We got hot when we needed to. First year in a new scheme, so we're going to try to balance it out here. But let's look at some contracts. Up first, we have Christian Darrisaw. We're going to see if we can get him on a neutral offer. If not, we'll pay him a little bit more. You can't let that guy walk out of the building. Josh Metellus is a great role player on the back end, so we'll see if we get him on a player-friendly deal. Plays a lot. Wears a lot of different hats on the defensive side of the ball. Definitely want to keep Ivan Pace. Let's bump this up here just a little bit. 5 years, 43. Wants a little more. I think we're willing to pay him. Him and Ernest Jones can definitely lead the center of the defense for the next foreseeable future. But I do think, obviously, on top of picking up the 5th-year option for Addison, we'll probably move on from Bradbury. I think Pace and Darrisaw are the only 2 I want to throw some money, and then gives us a little bit extra for the open market if we get a good role for free agency. We lost 4 of our last 5. It felt like. 3 of our last 5, maybe, more in line. And we still find a way at 9-8 to squeeze into the playoffs. Optimism not particularly high. I think we are victim very much this season of a new scheme on the defense. Growing pains of having said new scheme. But when you got Trey Benson, who's developing nicely. When you got JJ McCarthy, who I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit flirting with bringing in a QB guru offensive coordinator. I'll tell you, if he doesn't get a dev trait this year, I think that's what I need to do to compensate for the lack of dev trait. Get him that +3 short, medium, deep, throw power boost. And that's honestly why I'm saving the stat points. You see, you got the little stash there of 127, but we made the playoffs. The offense, pretty solid. Rushing offense kind of fell off a cliff a little bit, under 100 yards. Defense picked it up a little bit. Individual overall points allowed, not great, but the pass and rushing defense, not brutal, not league worst. But look at JJ McCarthy, 2nd in the NFL in yards, 8th in touchdowns. The picks, I mean, he's for sure going to get star dev. He's going to get his dev trait this year, which is awesome. He deserved it. I got 1,014 for Benson. I'll take that. Not brutal. Justin Jefferson, 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns. Back on the outside, Jordan Addison in the slot, 115 catches, 1,200 yards, 7 duds. Osborne, we're going to let walk, so we got to find a way to pick up the production. I think TJ Hawkinson could definitely get a little bit more involved. Defensively, Ivan Pace over 100 tackles. The switch and scheme, look, we got sacks. 12 and 14 for Daniil Hunter. The rookie Zane Durant, 18 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. Might have played himself into defensive rookie of the year. At least conversation. He was hidden dev. It's a star. If we can win that award, get up to superstar, that is absolutely awesome. Interception numbers, not great. 2 for our starting linebackers, 2 for our starting corners. All right, it's all right. Could be better. Definitely could be better. JJ McCarthy just outside the top 5 in the MVP race. Justin Jefferson, Offensive Player of the Year. Hell yeah. Daniil Hunter, top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year. Hell yeah. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Zane Durant. For the love of God, give me that dev trait. Please, top 5 for JJ McCarthy. Benson making the top 10 for running backs, considering where rushing offense was rank-wise. That's pretty damn impressive. Justin Jefferson wins Wide Receiver of the Year. Jordan Addison making the top 10. And for the rest of the defense, Zane Durant as a rookie, already making the top 10 for defensive linemen. Daniil Hunter wins Linebacker of the Year. That should be good for his X Factor to maintain. Nothing for the secondary. We got runner-up for our rookie, Bert Auburn. Great name. Perfect name for a kicker. Rolls out the tongue. And I like seeing him play well. So everything, I mean, individually, we played a lot better than our record. 9-8. I think it was just a slow start. Our defense trying to figure out, trying to get up to speed. caused us. And look, we get another win. 2 wins in the JJ McCarthy era. 1 against the Eagles, which is impressive. 1 against the Niners, which is impressive. We're taking down top dogs here in the NFC, and it is 4 touchdowns for JJ McCarthy, beating the game manager there and Mr. Purdy. Benson had a good game. He could not stop Justin Jefferson, 159 yards. We got 2 sacks from Bryce Huff on 2 TFLs, outstanding. And let's see if we can keep this going. Last year, this is a spot we bowed out of the playoffs in the division round. We got the Atlanta Falcons. Let's auto-upgrade our players to make sure we get our best on best here. 2 starters, our guard and Jordan Addison, going up points. We can handle the. I mean, you look at the Falcons. Pretty good sim offense, like 2 of the more underrated sim offenses that don't get talked about in the NFC. We fall 2 points, 23-21. A close game. The rookie Zane Durant gets Defensive Player of the Week, which you love to see on 2 sacks. Hopefully that is going to be a superstar dev in a couple weeks' time. But we're starting to find that hump that we can't get over, which is the divisional round. So in closing of year number 2, at least we didn't lose to the team that went on to win it. Baltimore Ravens gets it. Shout out to Lamar. Looking at our squad, we're hoping we got 2 devs. 1 for McCarthy, getting him up to a star, which we got. Very nice. TJ Hawkinson holds on to his X Factor, which is also maybe a little bit surprising. No other dev traits up or down. Actually, KJ Osborne lost his star dev, but we're going to let him hit the open market. So maybe that was the right time not to pay out. Zane Durant gets a superstar dev for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, but no other dev traits. Man, I'm very surprised our middle linebacker, especially Ivan Pace, is not getting off that normal. A little interesting, but everyone else maintains. Not bad. Looking at free agency with $70 million, which is a great pool of money. We need corner. We have Martin Emerson. I've signed him like 3-4 times in the realistic rebuilds. So I feel like I kind of want to do something different. I also focus scout at corners for the draft. I just think we need maybe a little bit more upside at corner if that's available. We also now need a nose tackle because we let Harrison Phillips at the open market, but that's also another spot, especially if we can get one of those 360-plus pound nose tackles that are always available. Like, got a good rule. Corner and nose tackle being your big needs. We also need guard. That is where I was kind of hoping we could spend big-time money, but you got McGovern here. Looks solid, but $14 million per year for a guard. The guard market is disgusting in Madden. So we're gonna sit on the sidelines this year, roll this money over. That's a rocket and roll into the draft. Now that we're back into the Madden-generated draft classes, which, I mean, I actually had someone reach out. Definitely would like to hear you guys' feedback. He made a bunch of draft classes on PC. I've seen them before. They're good. They're good. He made them for all years, but obviously I'd like to use Bengals because me and Bengal worked for 2024 and 2025, but he's made draft classes up to like 2027. Would you want to see, for the realistic rebuilds, 5 years of realistic draft classes? Or do you guys like just having the first 2 and then we go off into the generated draft? I personally love the generated ones because it's easier to draft than the realistic ones, which is kind of weird to say. But looking at the board here, there are some dogs. There are definitely some players. We focus scout at corners. There's a couple good-looking ones. No one looks like super complete that's going to fall, which kind of sucks. Like, you love seeing the guys that have A's and B's and they're 6'3" and they run 4.3s. Not really the case, but the top 2 corners look kind of solid. So then we pivot to 3-4 defensive ends. Tim Campbell. This guy might be one of my top targets. In a perfect world, he's going to follow us. He's a top fit. 3 Bs and a C, and athletically speaking, outstanding. Now, where he is going in the mock draft, I'd be the one guy that I'd be like, wouldn't mind trading up for Tim Campbell. Where is he going in the final mock draft? Just to get an idea. If it's within a reasonable trade up, I will. But if he's going top 5, top 10, we're probably going to have to sit on the outside looking in. And look at where he is going. And you can't trust these. Don't you lie to me. I'm going to trust you. Don't you lie. Let Tim Campbell come or put him on the other side. Zane Durant just coming off a superstar dev, defensive rookie of the year. Put someone on the other end of him that has high upside. Get the pass rush, not only from the 3-4 DNs, but you have Daniil Hunter who's an X factor. Please have Campbell still here at 25. And also, don't make him suck. I don't want this guy being normal dev 72. But he is still on the board. I mean, again, undersized D tackle, so you got to take that with a grain of salt when you see these ridiculous combine numbers. But the fact that it's that rare combo of he's an elite athlete, 4'7" at 300 pounds is insane. The 20-yard shuttle is insane. Almost top 5 in the 3-cone. First in the broad, first in the vert. But he has the bench press. You usually don't get the bench press. This guy looks insane. Absolutely insane. And I'm happy we didn't get screwed over with a mock jack because we had the last couple of rebuilds. And there's only one of those nose tackle types. So I'm going to reach. Usually these guys are fairly solid. The bench press numbers look pretty good. The fact he also has elite acceleration makes me go, that is insane. How do he carry as a normal dev? 97 strength at 355 pounds with 87 acceleration. Like, that's something you'd see out of fucking a recruit in NCAA that just doesn't make sense. Last thing I want to really get out of this draft is an interior lineman. We have a guard. Let's walk through how I would pick this in case this ends up being a star dev and people go, oh, C4, how do you always find them? So looking at Jaden Pruitt, the bench press is good enough for me to pick the threshold. Solid athlete. We know he has B run block. Don't really, run block, pass block are the ones you want to see. We have Clyde Winslow at center, who has A run block, A impact block, and he's a mover. And with that size, can he play that? We might not even look much further. We got Chris Ramsey. Not bad. We have Brady Bowen, double A's, but the useless double A's. Also pretty damn good. Honestly, in a perfect world, I can get Winslow and Bowen. Because I think they both are going to have a shot at dev traits. And there's one. I've literally been simming. This is for a freaking center. I've literally been simming every pick to be like, as soon as one center, because we have the second center of the two is what we want to go. And they're both going to be there. So this could be the perfect draft. I am very, very optimistic that this is a dev trait. That's how you do it, man. Athletes, give me. I mean, it's not hard. Once you see the elites, you see the leather grades. Probably gonna, looks like a duck, talks like a duck, probably a duck. I hope someone out there, at least a couple of you, learn a couple things from me drafting, and you can use it and apply it to your own franchise modes. So I think we did numbers here in this draft. I'm expecting a lot of heat, and that's exactly what we got. Tim Campbell, 72. But I think much like Zane Durant last year, who was, I think, honestly, a 72 at the defensive tackle spot as an undersized defensive tackle, they will jump up some ratings here. We move in the defensive end. Okay, maybe not. Nose tackle, 72. Freak athlete. Surprised he doesn't have a dev trait. 97 strength, 87 acceleration at almost 400 pounds. But still pretty good. Clyde Winslow, 73 with a hidden dev. Brady Bowen, 70 with a dev. So what we are going to do here is we're going to take Bowen. We're going to move him to left guard. It'll be competition between him and Keegan, who was a late-round pick of our realistic class. I think he plays for Michigan. But obviously the dev trait player, higher upside. Probably going to go there. Look, he makes the jump from 70 up to a 72. Following our draft board, we got a quarterback and a running back late. But that's 4 stellar picks. All of them probably going to start for us this year. All right, year 3. Let's get a little recap of where our roster is at, rocking and rolling into this season. Have a couple new starters, especially for that rookie class. Left-hand side of the line, we have Winslow and Bowden are going to get the start alongside Darisaw. Colby was our second-round pick last year. So this is pretty homegrown. Obviously, across the board. Homegrown as you can. Obviously, Hawkinson was a trade target. But pretty much everyone else, we got Mushin Muhammad III playing that third wide receiver spot because we let KJ Osborne walk, but ultimately I'm just hoping that it's going to be Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson. That is more than enough in terms of weapons, and you can even throw it to Benson out of the backfield. But I would say Mission on the offensive side of the ball would love to continue to see those dev traits for JJ McCarthy pile up. And with how he's playing, now we got that +5 boost because of our brand new offensive coordinator. I'm optimistic he is going to be a superstar. If not this year, next year in year 4. Defensive line, I'm going to go with the young guys. So Tart, a little bit of victim of our draft, but Durant's going to start. We're going to go with the nose tackle, especially if we can get him a dev trait. And then we're going to go with our first-round pick at right end. Corner, Murphy, McLaughlin, and Blackman. So I'd love McLaughlin. He does start to get a dev trait. Bynum, Metellus have been solid. Hunter's not lost his X factor. He's very consistent. Huff's kind of been a little disappointing, a little bit of a role player. And I would really, really love a dev trait for at least one, if not both, of our middle linebackers come to the end of the season. But so far, we're 2 for 2. Making the playoffs, getting playoff wins, but here in year 3, let's see if we can get past the divisional round. All right, we're only a game back, which is not bad, 3-2. And we got a breakout defensive back, which I was kind of hoping it was going to be Dwight McLaughlin, but it is Mekhi Beckman, who's already gone up a dev trait, and he has a chance to go up to superstar, which that's good to know. That's like one of those, it is something to take out of this if you plan on doing a Viking rebuild. Players are similar. Like, this is one of those things, like, if certain guys, like Blackman, for example, he's had 2 breakout scenarios. He might actually hit this one. Like, that seems to carry over different rebuilds. Like, just certain players seem to have good roles. And Mekhi Blackman is now a superstar corner. That's huge. Unfortunately, we weren't able to follow that up with a back-to-back win. It's kind of... I hate the fact that that's kind of where we're at here. Look at that. Huge performances, both offense and defense, in a loss. And it just seems like this team can't string together a couple wins. We can't get the momentum. Usually that means you're going to miss the playoffs. But at this point, let's look at some contracts. We didn't spend in free agency. But man, oh man. This is kind of expensive. So we're going to pick up the 5th year of JJ McCarthy. Tart's kind of surplus. So Brian O'Neill and Mekhi Blackman are the 2 that we really don't want to let walk. And for Blackman, I mean, obviously... hitting the ground running. Superstar. That is an absolute bargain of what we just got there. O'Neal, on the other hand, is going to be expensive. We'll see if we can get him at right tackle. We'll be able to get him over the line. But, man, our salary, I'm glad we didn't spend in free agency last year. In year 3, we ended up making the playoffs. But I got to show you something crazy because I remember this is the only other time it's really happened. I've done hiring QB guru before, right? But I remember one time in particular was with the Minnesota Vikings. We had... like, I don't even know what it was, man. The boost that we were getting, like the morale and from the coach was like plus 12 or something like that for Josh Dobbs. We have plus 10. JJ McCarthy, he's a reasonable 87 for the stats that he's put up. You know, last year, 6th in MVP voting. Feel like 87 for a play like that. Pretty fair, pretty reasonable in the ballpark. But the fact that we're getting 10 additional points for how he's playing as well as the offensive coordinator is insane. Absolutely insane. There's no other way to put it. And I'm happy that he's getting that because we're going to need him to go on that run. Look at the stats for JJ McCarthy. 1st in passing yards, 2nd in touchdowns. Interceptions are reasonable. That might be an MVP campaign for us here, ladies and gentlemen. We also chip him with another 5 rushing touchdowns. I think it's his to lose. Taylor got some. Benson still with all those passing numbers, 1,300 yards. You'll love to see that. Jefferson and Jordan Addison are absolutely lethal. Moose Muhammad, a legacy player. His dad was a legend. I think of him and associate more so with the Carolina Panthers. I love seeing that. Hawkinson with reasonable numbers at tight end. Might lose his X factor. Defense, Ivan Pace, a tackle machine. We're getting sacks. 13.5 for Hunter. 9 from the rookie Tim Campbell. 8 for Zane Durant. I'll take that every day of the week. Got to put that away. That the Rams, 3-4. They get us some good production. Interceptions led by Metellus, a homegrown talent. Looking at the MVP. Oh, come on. 4th? There's no way. We got robbed. There's no fucking way that any of those guys had even comparable season. 45 touchdowns for McCarthy, 12 wins. Bro had 44. So we had 45. Bro had 44. Were they the 1 seed? Let's see that real quick. Because if not, man, absolute robbery. Maybe not. That's a tough break. Shouldn't be 4th. Should be 2nd. 2 spots. Damn it, man. Addison Jefferson. Look at that, man. 4 right there. Defensive player. There goes Aaron Donald. Daniel Hunter making that short list. We get runner-up for defense rookie year. That's a bummer. JJ McCarthy does get QB of the year. Addison wide receiver of the year. Daniel Hunter, linebacker of the year again. Well, let's continue the streak of getting wins. Now, on top of that, didn't get the first round bye, which is brutal. If you know in the Madden sim, every time you get a chance to lose, it's not good. You need that bye. You need to be able to go on those healthy runs. But we've remained undefeated in the division round. 3 years, 3 playoff victories, but we have not got past the division round. Let's upgrade our players here quickly. Just depth guys. Oh, man, Carolina, what do they got? What are they working with? There's no way that they're saying, look at their defense, top 10 defense, 7th in points per game, top 5 in passing and rushing yards, but their offense can't match this. This is going to be a good offense against a good defense. Usually the offense wins, and we get the job done. 35-14, and it's a divisional NFC Championship game. JJ McCarthy coming off a Offensive Player of the Week performance and standing between us and a Super Bowl is the Detroit Lions, who are not... not good. They're not bad. Like number 6 defense, number 2 rushing defense, or passing offense. This is a bad matchup for the Detroit Lions, which means it's somehow probably going to end up being a good matchup for them. We'll spend the upgrade there to get Benson up to a 92. Nothing should be a win. But I think we should be able to be optimistic that we are the favorites of this matchup, and we should see it through. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Year 3 Vikings Super Bowl. Jordan Addison, Player of the Week. I already know, by CJ GJ getting 2 picks. Not a strong game from McCarthy, but 8 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jordan Addison. And in year 3, the Minnesota Vikings on their quest to get their first ever Super Bowl. Have an opportunity. Featured in the Super Bowl. I don't know when was the last time they were in the Super Bowl. Did they get there in the 90s one time? If not, I literally couldn't. Purple People Eaters era? I don't know. But we got a shot here. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who bring a 7th ranked offense, 3rd ranked defense, go against Minnesota, who bring the 2nd ranked offense and a defense that is just outside the top 10, but an elite rushing yard defense. And Baltimore, they're all about their rushing yards, so that bodes well. We got JJ McCarthy, who should now be... There's no way he didn't get superstar. There's no way. He definitely got it. There we go. We now have a superstar under center. Everyone else vibing, feeling good. Momentum is high. I think we can get it done. Now, because this is year 3, I don't think we're going to enact the 3. If it was year 4 or 5, that's usually when I'll hop in. The fact that we still got 2 more years after this to come back, I think we're just going to sit back and watch Lamar Jackson and JJ McCarthy go to work to do what they do best. Let's go, man. They don't have the defense. They have the defense. I don't think they have the defense to hang with us. But opening drive, Baltimore gets a score. Ooh, it's getting a very slow start. But we're able to try and get a touchdown here before half. We have to settle for 3. Ooh, get that tutty. Get that tutty. Wow, no points in the red zone before halftime. Just weren't ready, man. We're a young team. We'll be back. Well, we don't have a lot of money to spend. We didn't get our OC or DC poached, which is the first victory. We got $30 million of available salary cap. Terms of needs. Wow. Be a good year to need a pass rusher. We need a 3rd wide receiver. But I think that's going to be something we look maybe in the draft. Yeah, I don't really need to worry about that. Offensive line is good. D-line is solid, unless there's a really good nose tackle when there's not really on the open market. Corner, if there was a game changer in the secondary, maybe we go all in on that, but there's just not. It's not even a guy with upside right now. A very bad role there for DBs. So, it would have been nice to say we need an edge rusher and go out and get Aiden Hutchinson, but the fact of the matter is we're all right. We're all right, and we'll roll over this money to next year. All right, here we go for the draft. And for this draft, we need wide receiver and or a corner with upside. We got to wait, though, all the way to the end, as we are picking 31, which is the worst pick in the draft because we don't even have the Super Bowl to celebrate. Wide receivers look pretty weak this year. There wasn't one that I was even like, that guy could be all right. So I think we're going to pivot. Maybe just draft like the best athlete that we can. A deep threat, 6'5". Nerd alert. It's not bad, but that's later on. Corner is where we invested. Now, it helps that Mekhi Blackman got up to a superstar. But the fact of the matter is, we got some pretty good scouting here. And Steve Newman is a top 5 talent player. A-man, B-press, B-zone, C-catching, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. Pretty good combine, 4.38 the pro day. Top 5 of the 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle. And we get the dev trait, which is not always a gimme. You see that top 5, your eyes get big. But a lot of times, I won't say it's 50-50. That you're going to get just a player that's high rating, normal dev, than you would the perfect role, which is obviously going to be a high rating because he's top 5 with a dev, but that is huge for Steve Newman, and it might spell the end. I mean, Byron Murphy's getting up there in age a little bit, but it's either going to be Murphy or Dwight McLaughlin that suffered because of this pick, but stud selection, especially with the second last pick of the first round. All right, look at our draft recap. Don't feel confident about this draft. Wasn't a big fan after our first pick. Rutherford, actually not bad. I mean, wide receivers look pretty shit. He was 6'3", that ran a 4.37, as shown by the 93 speed. He's 88 spec, 92 jumping, big body player. We just need him to come in and be wide receiver 3. which is not that big. We got a 71 linebacker here, a Devontae Griffin out of Georgia. The rest of the picks just kind of followed our draft board. I was a little bummed out. Usually I like to get to like round 4 or 5 before my board is completely shot. Wasn't so much the case, but getting a top 5 player at pick 31. Let's freaking go. Mr. Steve Newman, 93 speed, 91 acceleration, 94 agility, 84 man. Obviously, some of these are bumped up a little bit because of our DC, but that is a stud who's going to start for us day 1. All right, midway point of year number 4. Looking to get back to the Super Bowl. We're sitting atop the NFC North, 4-2. Looking at the stats. Offense, a little bit of a step back. It's still early enough. We've only played 6 games, but not really where you want to be honest with you. Now, we've been diligent in not spending frivolously on the open market. Big word, but I think we used it right, which is why we might be able to keep the band here together. We got Zane Durant looking for a 5th-year option. Well, let's start from biggest priority to next. And first up, we have Jordan Addison. Oh, my God. So this is not good. Here I was thinking we'll be able to get out of this because we don't have to pay JJ McCarthy. We get out of this whole rebuild without a franchise quarterback contract. We might need to restructure some guys because I know we're gonna face some adversity. I think Huff could go. He's a starter. Bynum could go. He's a starter. McLaughlin's gonna be tough. He's a starter. But Hunter, Hockenson, Benson, and Addison, if we want any ambitions of getting this Super Bowl year 4, year 5, these guys are gonna be a part of the team. Amongst our salary cap hell, we have a breakout on the defensive line for Campbell, who was our first-round pick a year ago. Tim Campbell on that star dev. We'll see if he can get that roll up to superstar. Also, while we're here, take another swing at a free. I think we just try to get with our money Addison and Benson to sign on. We'll do the classic +2 approach. Usually get some success there. So Addison signed. Benson close. And it's just, I don't even know who to restructure. I don't even know who's the cap cow on this roster. It's probably on the O-line. All things considered. Let's sim this week here. 4-3. Looking to get to 5-3 against Chicago, who's not having a great start to the year. We dominate 42-10. Do we get the breakout on the D-line? We did. Tim Campbell gets the bump up to a superstar. I think generally speaking, in this Vikings rebuild, we have been and benefited a lot from the dev trade scenarios, which, I mean, haven't hit at an insane rate, but they've hit enough to make you feel pretty good about it. So let's go again. +2 for Trey Benson. All right, on to the next one. TJ Hockenson. Honestly, Hockenson is a little bit replaceable. We don't utilize the tight end. Hunter is the guy out of all our players we'd want to extend. I mean, truth be told, Benson at a running back is replaceable in our scheme. We are a pass offense. Hockenson hasn't even been our 3rd option. He's been our 4th receiving option. That's not worth $90 million. So maybe we only need to restructure a guy or 2 here to get Hunter across the line. Which, honestly, seeing how that's kind of falling here now at the end of year 4, this might be our best shot. There's no way. There's zero amount of restructuring that is going to make this team be this strong next year with what we're about to lose. So, very much in the ballpark. This could be our last best chance to go on and win a Super Bowl. JJ McCarthy still playing at a high level, 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns. You'll love to see it. Benson has a career year. Of course he does, as soon as I can't pay him. Addison 1,000, Jefferson 1,000, 1,000 for the rookie Carl Rutherford. Hockenson has his best year, of course, in a contract year. You love seeing all those numbers. Defensively, Ivan Pace over 100 tackles. Daniil Hunter, who is our top priority to re-sign, continues to thrive in this scheme. Interceptions haven't been great this rebuild, but that's common. I can't remember the last time interceptions were consistently good. Maybe, I don't even know. Dallas Cowboys playbook has pretty good interception numbers. Looking for award winners in case we had any. I don't think we are. Maybe Daniil Hunter, who's just won linebacker of the year every single year. Continue to justify why he should be the guy we sign over Benson and TJ Hockenson. While I also still very much hope that we can get a nice influx of salary cap, which you do when the salary cap goes up at the end of the year. Our first opponent is not easy. It is an 88 overall San Francisco 49ers squad that has just outside top 10 offense and top 10 defense. Again, I reiterate, this might be our last best shot to get back to a Super Bowl, and we handle business in the opening round by dumping 35. An outstanding performance from JJ McCarthy. But a 4-touchdown performance. Our defense holding the Niners under 20 points, which usually is a recipe for success. But this is what we've been able to do. We've been able to handle the first round of the playoffs. It's the other rounds that have given us issues. We're able to upgrade our players here. Jordan Addison joins the 99 club. Tim Campbell, our superstar D lineman, gets an upgrade. And now it's the Atlanta Falcons, who have a top 10 offense, the number 3 overall defense in the NFL. Oh, boy. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah, it's a shootout. 41-35. And JJ McCarthy is on fire. 380 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Who do we got? Dallas? Please don't be the Cowboys. I don't think it was. It's the Giants. The Giants stand between us and a Super Bowl, which I don't know. I don't want to just act like if we don't get this, it's just we're over. We got to give up hope. For year 5 is going to be a crapshoot. We're still going to be pretty damn good year 5. But there's just certain limit. We're not going to be 91 overall. That's just the fact of the matter is. The Giants here, top 10. They have the number 1 defense. How are the Giants so good? We're at home. Oh, yeah, baby. It's a rematch against the Ravens. Metellus Player of the Week. McCarthy Player of the Week. Both quarterbacks for the respective winners didn't have strong performances. But it is time to exact revenge against the Baltimore Ravens, who, let's be honest, last Super Bowl wasn't an ass whooping, but it wasn't a close game, to say the least. But not too often you get to run it back right away in a rematch. And I think we know this is our last, probably best shot to get this Super Bowl across the line. 96 overall offense, 92 overall squad. The Ravens aren't anything special. I'll tell you right now that we're gonna cash in our 3 in this matchup if we need to. But I would love, in a perfect world, we don't cash in our 3, so it gives us a shot next year if we somehow go on a run. But I think it needs to be understood that this is going to be our best shot. We might as well take advantage. Let's open and drive. 3rd and 4. Let's get some points. We got Jefferson top of the screen. I don't think they got anybody that can... I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go for this. Dad. What do you want? Oh, my God. Leave me alone. We got to go for this. Come on. Benson out the backfield, makes the grab. Drive continues. Let's go, no huddle. If this is one of my ones, I'm going to call my dad back and say, do you know what we just did? Do you know what we just accomplished? McCarthy takes off. Got the dual threat, almost 90 speed. Was an athlete recruit at quarterback. Not a lot of people remember that. I think he was the top athlete of his recruiting class. Tucks it and runs, and we get the touchdown. A little bit of back and forth there. We get a go-ahead score before the end of the first half. Second half, we have a lead. As long as we don't give this one up. Let's go 21-7, 4th quarter, 2-touchdown lead. Kind of pissing down our leg here a little bit, but look at that, 28-14. We only even needed to come in once. The Vikings, while our again, we got to appreciate, we got to respect where we're at as a team right now, because we're going to lose some guys. I would love to bring back Daniil Hunter so you can retire as a Viking. I would love to have a little influx to give Benson a contract, especially having the baller year he did. I think Hawkinson kind of is on the outside looking in if we can get some influx of cash here around, but this is monumental. JJ McCarthy, what a pick. I can tell Viking fans probably rolled their eyes. It was like, come on, C4. I know you probably wanted JJ McCarthy all along, but Jaden Daniels was there. We want Jaden Daniels to be our quarterback. Well, we handle business here. First Super Bowl in Vikings history is brought to you by JJ McCarthy. Is brought to you by the elite offense we have built. The defense that we had to get creative, pivot, bring in the Rams side of things. Get some maximization out of our pass rush. And that is all worth it as we have a Super Bowl championship. MVP for the Super Bowl. A little pick here. Probably give it to JJ McCarthy. But let's go, man. We got one more year to run it back. But worst case, we at least get that check mark. It is a successful rebuild in the books. So unfortunately, the fallout, we got a lot of things we got to handle this year. We did lose our offensive coordinator, which sucks. But the good news is you can just, we'll bring in another quarterback guru. We have 600 points, which we'll spend to upgrade him there. But that's not the big priority. Big priority here is free agency. 33 mil. Benson, we want to keep. I think we just franchise tag him. We pick up the 5th-year option of Zane Durant. Dunzo. Hawkinson's going to have to walk. Huff's going to have to walk. Daniil Hunter lost his dev trait. Love to find a way to keep him here. I just don't think he's going to give us a discount. Holy shit, he did! Let's go! I don't know how this works, but somehow we have $23 million of salary cap that we got. I have no idea how we got it. But, all right, well, we need a new tight end. Maybe we can't bring back Hawkinson. I mean, we might be able to... I bet I'll at least try. I don't know what his market would be. But if we can keep the band... All right, he told us to go after ourselves. That's fine. Why do I have... Where's my salary cap, though? I spend it on... It's just, I can't... What's a secondary tight end? Not much there. Probably best bet. We got the Canadian there, and Theo Johnson. Probably best bet's going to go in the first round. Go out and get one of them boys. So then we pivot. Maybe someone, a safety. Gilman. Javon Bullard's gone. Simmons, bringing a veteran. Cam Bynum still there. Jeremy Chin. Keep the band together? All right, keep the band together there at safety, and we'll go grab a tight end in the draft. Sitting and waiting for pick 32 as your defending Super Bowl champions. There was 4, I think, first-round tight ends, at least projected first-round tight ends. And we scouted a couple of them. And we got one still left on the board. Not bad. Brian Collins, first, second-round talent, 3 Bs and an A. I'm going to guess probably not an outstanding athlete, but pretty dang good. Elite acceleration, great speed, first to the 3-cone, first to the 20-yard shuttle. Good enough for me. Let's go. I went from doom and gloom like we're going to lose everybody to we got Benson. We got Daniil Hunter. We got a tight end with some upside here. And Brian Collins. Definitely it's not Hawkinson, who's what, 89 X factor. But at least we got a guy here. And again, Hawkinson was just never really going to justify that price tag. So let's get a guy that's youth, a little bit more upside, a little bit more athleticism. Maybe that's what we need. We got a 70 quarterback backup there. Love my draft board kind of going out the beat, but still, it's a good pick. Trusted him. Pretty good player, scrambler. We also got late a 73 running back with some juice, Zaire Tolbert, coming in with 94 speed, a burner. And for our 5th and final year, here's where our Vikings are at as a squad. Offensive line, all homegrown. We feel real good about it. One of the best lines in the league. We got a new tight end, Addison, 99 X factor, Justin Jefferson, 99 X factor. 96 for Benson, playing on the tag. We got JJ McCarthy from 71 normal, now to a 94 X factor. He's come a long way. He's played good. He's played great, honestly. And it's time for him to get another one. We thought this was going to be a down year. Obviously, our rating dropped down. We were 91 last year. Now we're an 89, but we're still damn good. And we're damn good enough to go and get the job done. Campbell, superstar. Durant, superstar. We got Daniil Hunter, Pace Jones. You can't, it's one of those things. You can't sign everybody. We weren't going to have a complete, there was just no way we were going to have a complete squad. But I think we've played a lot of less subsets, right? It's going to be Durant and Hunter at pass rush, Campbell on the inside, Pace and Jones at linebacker. I think we make it work, even though our team across the board doesn't look S tier. But as your defending Super Bowl champion, we have the calluses of defeat from 3 years. Last year, we finally had that success. We know what it takes to win now, and we're going to do it here again in year 5. And we're able ugly, but it don't matter. It still counts the same. Year 5, 9-8, but another NFC North divisional title for the good guys. We have a top 5 passing offense, top 10 offense overall, top 10 defense overall. We're in a pretty good spot. JJ McCarthy, his final year of the rebuild. Ugh. Touchdowns fell off a cliff there a little bit. Just touchdowns across the board. Benson also had a down year. Of course, classic running back, probably disgruntled that he didn't get a long-term contract is what it is. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison have carried this rebuild. They've been consistent. Ivan Pace has been consistent. Daniil Hunter, ageless wonder. 9.5 sacks from Zane Durant. Got some decent interception numbers. 3 from Jones, 3 from Byron Murphy. Quick look at the yearly awards. I don't think we're going to have anybody Even in a down year, McCarthy's still outside the top 5. Maybe it's just a down year across the board. For individual awards, yep. Hey, there's just Danielle Hunter, who I think is perfect. 5 for 5 in winning linebacker of the year. Take a look at the career stats quickly before we begin this journey of what these guys have been able to accomplish through their 5 years. JJ McCarthy, 22,000 yards passing, 173 tuds through the air, 6,100 yards, 60 touchdowns for Benson, which is great. McCarthy's given us a little bit as a dual threat. Justin Jefferson on 940 catches, 13,000 yards, and 80 touchdowns. Surely on an MVP trajectory. Almost 7,000 yards, 68 touchdowns for Jordan Addison. On the defensive side, Danielle Hunter, incredible. 850 tackles, 178 TFLs, 141 sacks. Putting him on that all-time list. 31 from Durant. Interception number 16 from Byron Murphy. Bynum with 10. Where did Ivan Pace? I mean, not bad for a UDFA. Almost 700 tackles in 6 seasons. Let's look for Danielle Hunter. Is he on that list? Yes, he is. Right there, just squeaking on by a half sack. Up there with Strahan. You got Garrett, TJ Watt, Donald from the current era. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Danielle Hunter. Doing the damn thing. But as your defending Super Bowl champions, let's get a little run. It starts with the Falcons, who have the #1 offense in the NFL. But they've been a team that just can't get over the hump. And we handle business here. 31-20. Going on and take on the big dogs. The 13-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have the #6 offense, #3 defense. A pretty good balance there. But is it going to be good enough to beat us? I don't think so. I hope not. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's get at least back to the NFC Championship game. Let's at least have a chance. Fuck. That sniffing, we did not get the job done. The round that has caused us the most trouble as Campbell gets 2 sacks in this whole freaking rebuild. 3 out of the 5 years we have lost in the divisional round. I mean, I'd rather lose in the divisional round than be one and done every year. Pull those classic Dallas Cowboys. But still annoying, man, that we did struggle to get over that hump. But ultimately, very happy with this rebuild. We did it the right way. We drafted well. We developed well. We knew we had good playbooks, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But it panned out. How many times have we done rebuilds where there's superstar players on paper and they just do nothing? They just never get 1,000 yards. They lose their dev traits immediately. The fact that we were able to come in here, maintain, and accentuate for Benson going up dev traits, McCarthy going up multiple dev traits. Pretty successful rebuild, I think, when all is said and done. So thank you guys very much for watching. Got a big week of content coming up this weekend with the Combines. We'll have some stuff as well sprinkled in with some honey hunters, with the offseason of the Arizona Cardinals. Working on mod content. I was actually going to kind of do, pretty much every time we do a rebuild, I'm going to still have the file. So I was thinking, because we have the Alabama assets, maybe doing like an all-time current Alabama team and see if they can go win a Super Bowl, see if they can go undefeated kind of deal. But of course, today there was a new Madden update, title update. Every time there's a title update, all the rebuilds, all the mods, all that stuff gets put on hold because you got to update it and stuff like that. So hopefully that gets ready and we can bring that to you guys. But I do want to know in the comment section below what rebuild you guys want to see next. Let me know. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya. Have a good one.